I can hear you call my name. I can hear you call my name. I can hear you call my name. Come to the table, cup runneth over. Come drink your fill and be well.
Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Christy. I'm an alien abductee and a victim of SRA. And full disclosure, I must warn you before I share my story that what I'm about to share can be considered quite graphic and may be traumatizing or triggering to some people. In my video series, it includes abduction, possible sexual abuse, rape, and coercion. I have been an abductee since as early as I can remember. I have memories as early as 4 years old. I remember assuming that being abducted and taken up into the sky into these UFOs by alien beings, and sometimes going to underground cities, was everyone's reality. But I found this wasn't the case, although over 3.5 million people in the US alone report being abducted by alien beings every year. This is just on the people that report it. Most people don't report it. Think of how much higher that number really is. In addition, I've also experienced being re-abducted by the secret military Black Project teams. They would send a team to retrieve me after my alien abductions. They would take me to underground bases. All of my life, I've had a secret that I couldn't share. When I was a child, I would try to tell people about it, but no one would believe me, so I just stopped talking about it, until now, that is. I'm writing a series of books about my life experiences and sharing what I have learned about these beings and the spiritual warfare that put it into it. I have been abducted by the beings known as the Nordics and the Small Greys that act as their worker bees. I'm also doing a series of videos on my abductions. If you are interested in hearing my other experiences over the last 47 years, then please watch my alien abduction series and the Underworld series. This video is part 5 of a 12-part series called The Underworld. In this experience, it starts like all the rest. I would wake up paralyzed in place. I can't move a muscle, and my heart starts beating out of control. I hear this buzzing in my head through every part of my body. I believe this is a frequency device that they use to subdue you before they enter the room. All of a sudden, my body is being pulled up at such speeds it frightens me even more. I can't open my eyes, but I hear the wind blowing in my ears, and I feel it on my face as I'm being pulled towards the UFO. Then lights out. I have no idea what is happening to me because they have now put me under mental control all the way. When you are taken onto their UFOs, they control you telepathically once you're there. They seem to put you under some kind of hypnosis telepathically. I tend to slip in and out of this and am able to remember things from when I am aware. Although when they discover that I am no longer under their control, they put me right back under. This hypnotic state allows them to handle you quite easily. I would become docile. The next memory I recall is of me running with this girl that was younger than me. She was just a young thing, maybe 20 years old. I don't even think she was that old. And she was just terrified. She had the look of horror on her face. We were in a very large dwelling under the earth, and there were many rooms. The tables are taller than a typical table, by at least 2 to 3 feet. The chairs were much taller too. We were running from room to room looking for a place to hide. Then we came to a room that had a large wooden table with tall wooden chairs, and we dashed right under the table to hide behind the pushed-in chairs. We were hiding from these beings that looked like giant men, at least 7 feet tall. The one I encountered was at least 7 feet tall, and I had seen taller beings in the underworld. But this giant blonde, blue-eyed being was the same being I had encountered several times in my abductions. I have talked about him in this series, The Underworld. Anyhow, the girl was with me and was hiding behind me and shaking like a leaf. I wanted to protect her. Then all of a sudden the chair is pulled out and lifted and placed away from the table. And the next thing I see is the face of the large blonde giant. And he looked at me with his expressionless face while telepathically saying, "I will not hurt you. You do not need to be afraid. As he pulled me out of there, I asked him why he keeps doing this to me, and he said telepathically that we don't breed with our own. Then my memory stops there. I was back under his control telepathically once again. My next memory was waking up in my bed at home. Just before my abductions by these beings, I had a memory of him sitting next to my bed several times. My son called him my stalker. Moments after I would see him in my room at night, I would be immediately controlled mentally and then taken again. The first time I saw him, I had thought he was an angel, but I was wrong and found out quickly they had evil intentions in mind for me. There is a whole world we do not know about or understand, and it's just beneath our feet in the underworld. They are also in the sky in motherships, cloaked so we do not see them, and they are under the ocean in alien bases. They are able to go in and out of our dimension. This is why they can appear and disappear in the blink of an eye. What I learned is that these beings are deceivers. They would have you believe that they are from a galaxy near us and coming here to help humanity. They would also have you believe that they are our creators and they seeded us here thousands of years ago. This is one of the great deceptions that will usher in the beast system. Soft disclosure is happening now and has been for years. In the last few years, there has been a huge increase in UFO sightings as well. They have been subtly brainwashing all of us and preparing us for years to accept the new narrative. But who are they really? Well, these beings I have encountered over my entire lifetime were fallen angels. They're hybrid children who are part human and part fallen angel, or as Tim Alberino calls them, the elder race. It was not meant for them to mix seed with mankind. God had forbidden it. There are also the biologically created suits known as the Greys. These biological suits were made so that the demons that were once living, Nephilim, the hybrid children of the elder race before the flood, could possess the biological shells and live in a body again. I call these beings the worker bees of the Nordic aliens. They are around 4 to 5 feet tall with tiny spindly bodies, large black eyes, and huge heads. There are the taller Greys that are natural and not biological suits as well, but I have not encountered them as far as I know. Those Greys are much taller and are from another bloodline and are at odds with the Nordics. This is a spiritual battle we are facing indeed, but it bleeds into our physical world. We are in the end times, even if it's hard for some of us to accept. But there is hope because the Lord will come and make all things right. Just know that if you are someone who is being abducted by any of these beings, when you have a moment of awareness, call on the Father in heaven and he will put an end to it. He did that for me. I share that story in this series, The Underworld. I would like to thank you for joining me and listening to my experience. I pray that this helps someone out there that doesn't understand what is happening to them. If this channel has been a blessing to you and you feel led to donate, I left the links below. If you have not done so already, could you like and subscribe? And may God bless you.
I can hear you call my name. I can hear you call my name. I can hear you call my name. Come to the table.